A woman fights off a would-be rapist in the Bronx. She snaps a photo of him, and cops are now sharing that photo, hoping you can help identify this suspect. Police say the woman was running in Bronx River Forest Park when this man came after her Monday morning about 7:45. This is the latest of several violent crimes in New York City recently. Today, Mayor Bill de Blasio talked about crime during a press conference in the Bronx, focusing primarily on the recent case of mistaken identity that resulted in the death of 15-year-old Junior Guzman Feliz, who allegedly was murdered by gang members outside a Bronx bodega.
This whole city is still mourning the death of Junior Guzman Feliz. But the bottom line is, in the Bronx, we know we're going to have to do exactly what we've done all over the city, fight block by block to make sure we're bringing down crime and throw at the problem whatever is needed.
De Blasio was in the Bronx to talk crime stats and to announce a plan to build a new police precinct there. Okay, let's bring in our own Nate Rogers, who's on the ground in Yonkers. Nate, what do you got?
Bill, fortunately, that victim, 54-year-old Michael Van Suman, was released from the hospital yesterday after suffering a fractured skull, a broken eye socket, as well as bleeding on his brain. He's now at home recovering. The video here showing 35-year-old Giovanni Nieves in what appears to be a heated exchange with the victim on a lower Manhattan train Saturday. Van Suman reportedly said Nieves asked him for money, and he responded saying he didn't have any. Police say Nieves was panhandling on the train prior to the altercation. Nieves struck the victim in the head with a metal pipe. Nieves is now charged with felony assault with a weapon. Man, tell me, how long have you been homeless?
Since 2003.
2003? How rough has it been for you? Just tell me.
You know, it's worse at sometimes, other times. I tried the shelter system, but I didn't like it.
Now, Bill, New York City's Coalition for the Homeless says there are more than 62,000 homeless people throughout the city. That number does not include folks who sleep on city streets, the subway, and in other public places every day. Today, Bill, I asked many New Yorkers how do they deal with aggressive panhandlers and folks that are homeless. Take a listen to what they had to say.
It doesn't affect me at all. I usually just ignore them.
If they need, I give. If I feel afraid, I don't.
If I see that they not really need, some people just ask. I don't give it to them. So it depends on the individual.
Now, Bill, last year, Mayor de Blasio reportedly urged New Yorkers not to give beggars money. He also encouraged police to increase patrols on panhandlers that threaten public safety. Homeless experts emphasize that it's okay to politely say no and walk away when approached by a panhandler. If you feel unsafe on the train, you should move to another seat or notify police. Now, finally, Bill, I spoke to one community activist who said that it's okay to be compassionate. She said that we should all familiarize ourselves with homeless resources in our areas, including shelters and soup kitchens. She said instead of just ignoring them and walking away, we should direct them to some of those city services, and hopefully that will help. Bill?
All right, thank you, Nate. Let's bring in our A-plus panel for tonight's show. Republican strategist Jeanette Hoffman. Good to see you, Jeanette. Democratic strategist Bill Caruso, also back with us. Bill, I'm going to start with you. There seems that there has been a shift in New York City. We've gone far away from the arresting of people for small crimes that you saw under Mayor Giuliani, Mayor Bloomberg, tactics that cleaned up the streets of New York, that lowered the murder rate. I mean, all these things worked. And now we're looking at an administration that effectively is ignoring turnstile jumpers, public urination, public drunkenness. What's happening, and how do we get the city back?
Well, and let's think about this for a second. This mayor has said we're going to ignore public urination, we're going to ignore public drunkenness, but he wants to focus on panhandling. But I'm not even sure constitutionally he can do that. And I think the idea here that we're going to start advising these people where to go. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I've actually bought food for a homeless person thinking, right, we're not going to give money, and got it thrown at me after you do it. So
they want the drugs and the booze.
Some
I mean,
do.
not everybody.
Not everybody.
The better play here to be safe is just walk away. This, you know, that's unfortunately the right answer here is don't engage.
No doubt about it. New York City has gotten less safe under Bill de Blasio. This is a huge failure on his part to prosecute these quality of life crimes and create an order of lawfulness in the city, which Rudy Giuliani did through the broken windows policing.
Is this because we're heading into an election year?
I think this comes back down to what advice and counsel we're giving to the citizenry from governmental officials. And you're not getting a lot of that out of New York right now. There seems to be conflicting policies. The law enforcement, I mean.
And law enforcement needs to step up and have, the tools from the mayor to do so.
All right, thanks, guys.